talk with yours truly. All to the nation. I hope you got your notifications on, right? Without hesitations nor deviations to the matter. Matter of fact, be sure to hit that like button on your way in. Slap that share icon too. Sharing is caring. Yeah. Come on, Cowboy Nation. Update your resume, baby. Always keep everything in front of you. Yeah. Let them know. Law is live right now. Come on. Let's go. Yeah. They say you hate your party like a law makes you party. Yeah. Come on. Let's go, baby. Jerry Wayne and things. Mama, there go that man again, huh? Yeah. Shout out to all of the notification squad. Shout out to the mods. Appreciate you for all that you all do. By the way, let me see some fire in the chat. Baby, come on. Oh, no. Come on, Jerry. Shout out to you, Nick. Shout out to you, Jay. Let's go. For all the haters. We build it as we fly, baby. Let's go.
I want me some glory hole.
No doubt, Jerry. You don't like this show?
You must be out your goddamn mind.
Come on. Party like a cowboy party. Yeah. Don't you know that's the sound of the man working on the train? Yeah. Come on. Let's go. Y'all all right? Y'all all right? Y'all let me know if y'all all right. Come on, Cowboy Nation. I know we can get more people in here than this. Go take your smoke break. Go chill out for a second. I know it's on your lunch time for your mind. So, hey, take an executive lunch. That's what I take it, an executive lunch over there. Go take your executive lunch, Cowboy Nation. Oh, my goodness. The playmaker, Michael Irvin. What were you thinking to go on the radio station and say this is the matchup you don't want to say? "31 teams in the national, there's 32 teams collectively, but 31 teams out there. And I come to tell all of y'all beautiful people, and I don't care who we play. I don't. I flat out don't care who we play. I absolutely don't care. When I tell you guys I love this team, I believe in this team, I don't care. There's only 2 teams that can get in the way of the Cowboys. 2. One being the aficionados. Y'all know how this go, and I promise you, just follow me. One being the aficionados. 2 being the Cowboys themselves. Those are the only 2 teams that can stop the Cowboys. One being the aficionados, two being the Cowboys. When they start talking about, well, Debo, they only got one Debo. When they start talking about Bosa, they only got one Bosa. Armstead cool and all, you know. When they start talking about the running back system, if the Cowboys played their brand of football, and this is just not me banging on my chest, right? It ain't me, you know. It ain't me turning into Tupac, my body be punished for hard living. Hands on the straps of praying, so Father, please forgive me. Police be rushing, looking when they see me. I flaunted America's Most Wanted. Live on TV like pleasure and pain. We stuck in this game. Holler my name, we all gonna die. We bleed through similar veins. You know, I ain't finna pull out my Tupac mind on y'all, right? No, we gonna hit them up, baby, right? You know, I could have been a rapper on my, another lifespan. You know what I'm saying? You could put me in the room with like a Pop Smoke type, rapper, May he rest in peace. But you guys get what I'm saying, though, right? It was it. Pull your strap on me. You better kill me. Yeah. So Irv out here, man. He's shaking all of the funk over here.
The way the game played out, you're down 17, then you fight back. You know what I mean? You end up winning the game, and then you win on defense with an interception. You know what I'm saying? It solidifies everything that the Niners have been about. And that's why I've been moaning and groaning, because I did not want this matchup for Dallas. I wanted to send San Fran to Green Bay or out there to knock off the Rams.
So he said he did not want this matchup for Dallas. What matchup you want? What matchup do you need? I do not want it the easy way. But you made a G today, but you made it in a sleazy way. I ain't really worried about the 49ers. Somewhere in the parts of the hearts. Somewhere in the parts of the hearts, yeah.
FBI, open up!
We shooting that notion down all the way, baby. We are. Because here's the thing, somewhere in the hearts, the 49ers don't want to see Parsons. There's no way the 49ers sitting there like, yeah, bring me Parsons. Oh, by the way, can you give me DeMarcus Lawrence and Randy Gregory? Yeah, we want those boys. Come on, let them walk up on us, baby. We want a Dak Prescott, in the last visits with the 49ers. I think he threw 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions when he get into the red zone against the 49ers, right? And playoff Dak, by the way, his numbers are looking pretty good. He's averaging 95.5 QBR, and he's throwing for at least 7 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. His playoff stats ain't nothing to sneeze at, right? Right? Cowboy Nation. So when you talk about playoff Dak, he's poised. He's ready. Now, the thing we've been looking for when this particular team get into the playoff is help. His help is help on the defensive side of the coin. But neither here nor there. Let's listen to Jerry Wayne and things, baby. This is the other Jerry. This is the other Jerry. Y'all listen.
But joining us now on the ticket hotline, as he does after every Cowboys game, win or lose, is the owner and general manager. Say good morning to Jerry Jones. How are you?
Hey, this is the other Jerry, by the way, for those who've been following the channel, just to bring light to the conversation. Let's listen to this Jerry first.
Cowboys and 49ers are coming up in 15 minutes. Good God, we got to get ready.
No, just our talk
our
about
segment
a little preview of the game.
All right, that makes more sense. Makes more sense.
Well, you guys won big on Saturday. By the way, what was that like playing on a Saturday night?
Oh, that was very weird. It was very strange. It really threw me off my schedule because my body is used to getting severely drunk on Sundays. So it really messed with my schedule. I haven't had a solid stool all weekend.
All right.
Jerry.
We don't have to hear that.
No doubt.
And as is the case now, you were down a few players. You weren't at full strength. Of course, the Eagles weren't either, but you were down a few.
No, thank goodness. COVID hit us really hard this week, and that's bad. But thank goodness Philadelphia decided to start their third teamers to kind of level the playing field, the COVID playing field. But COVID hit us hard. As a matter of fact, if we lost any more players to the COVIDs, we were going to have to put Rowdy on the roster. Just move him straight over.
Jeez.
And COVID's even hit me hard in the family area. At least we thought it did. Earlier in the week, we thought that Stephen may have had the COVIDs, so we were worried about him. We got him tested, and luckily it turned out just to be his poor diet. Had him feeling so bad. Yeah, his gravy levels were off the charts.
Gravy?
No.
Oh yeah, they found that his blood to queso ratio was darn near 1-to-1.
That sounds very dangerous.
Yeah, it's very dangerous right now.
Speaking of dangerous, any trip to Philadelphia with that rowdy crowd is a danger for Cowboy folks. Did they treat you okay?
Well, you're telling me that the crowd is a rough one. Before the game started, when I was on my way up to the suite, some fan in that Philly crowd, they threw a diaper full of rocks and doo-doo at me.
Oh, no.
Nasty.
No way.
And it just grazed my hairpiece. But fortunately, it went past me and then hit Jerry Jr. and knocked him down a flight of stairs.
Oh, don't say fortunately. That's terrible.
I heard later on that a little bit later on, I heard that it took a whole group of paramedics to get Junior patched up and back on his feet so he could walk back up the stairs and find the locked doors to my suite.
Locked. All right. Well, did you learn anything about your team on Saturday in that win?
Yes, we did. We learned that Jaquan Hardy is on the roster.
Well, the GM should know that.
You would think. But I don't pay so much attention to that.
Well, you should. You're
Wow.
in charge of the roster.
All that roster stuff, that just kind of confuses me. So I just look at like catering deals for Legends Catering. That's what I'm interested in.
Plug right there.
Well, yeah, you got to realize Hardy was on the roster after Zeke left the game. He did get to 1,000 yards. That's, I guess, an accomplishment.
Yes, that's very much an accomplishment. Zeke finally makes it to 1,000 yards for the season. He really impressed me. He's just like Jim Brown. Of course, Jim Brown got 1,000 yards when it was a 6-game regular season. Zeke has about 20 games to get there, so a little different. Hey, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
How about that Gardner Fu Manchu, huh? You like him?
Gardner Minshew?
Yeah, love him.
Do you?
Yeah, I love his whole aesthetic that he has.
Yeah.
There's no way that guy doesn't listen to Whitesnake before the game. Get himself pumped up.
Yeah, probably so.
I've got $20 that says he drives a Camaro. Who wants to
No
take
doubt.
that?
Yeah, I'm with you there.
84
Yeah,
at that
I
one.
like him. He looks like the love child of Uncle Rico and Johnny Football to me.
Well, you're in the playoffs anyway. That's normally a good thing. I know it hasn't been a good thing around here, but
We are. We're very excited about the playoffs. I tell you, you don't know how many more playoff runs that old Jerry's going to have.
well, you never know.
Come
And
on.
so
now.
hopefully
Come
Dak
on now.
will figure out how to play football again and take us to the Super Bowl. And maybe we'll hear from the crazy prospector this week.
Well, we're hoping.
God
Yeah.
willing.
We're hoping so.
If he can get near a phone. I know he lives out in remote areas.
That's right.
Well, let's all root for the Cowboys, shall we?
Okay, Cowboys.
All right, and pray for Steven right now. He's on an IV drip of guacamole sauce.
All right, Jerry, good luck.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, my goodness. Shout out to 1310, the ticket, man. It's always good to bring a little wow laughter to the house, man, before we get into the real conversation. Now, there's a lot of vacancies out there. And a lot of teams are looking at a situation whereas they want to be where we are at right now. Let me know if my audio is straight. Let me turn it up a little bit. They want to be where we are at right now. And with that being said, Cowboy Nation, it's always difficult to build your organization when you are doing great things, because that's just how it goes. Let me interview Dan Quinn. Let me interview Joe Witt Jr., Al Harris. Let me interview Kellen Moore. Those are the situations that's going to happen throughout this process of us trying to focus in to win playoff games, right? The more we get things accomplished, the more and more people reach out to our team to throw us off kilter. Now, reason why I say this is because I believe now all of a sudden teams are looking at it like, okay, hey, what about Will McClay? We need help in building an organization. We need help in that particular category of solidifying your roster area. Shout out to you, G-Tag. Appreciate you, Grant G 1971. Appreciate you for updating your membership. That's a problem. I don't think that Will McClay is going anywhere, right? By the way, Cowboy Nation. But because Will McClay did make a promise. He made a promise to Jerry Jones and the Jones family, and he said that he want to see, before he leave, Jerry get a Super Bowl victory. And the remarkable job that Will McClay brings to the table is balance. The remarkable job that Will McClay brings to the table, balance. I'm going to say this one more time for the person way in the back. The remarkable job about Will McClay is balance. He brings in not the emotional aspect of it, but the true and real evaluations of players. Now, although he give advice, he don't necessarily pull the trigger. It's still up to the Jones family to be the one to say, okay, you said this about the evaluation process of this particular player, but what about this person? Have you considered that person? Or can we bring this person in? And Will McClay, hey, what about this one? Hey, I'm telling you, this one right here. And we can clearly see with our eyes, since Will McClay entered into the building, I think it was the year, the year 2011 or 2012, somebody that know exactly the day that Will McClay entered the building and started to make his philosophy work for the Cowboys. But other teams are looking into Will McClay, and I'm going to give you guys this link right here to my guy John Machota. Be sure to check him out. Here we go. Check him out. And it was 2009. I thought it was a little after 2009. If it's 2009, but still, even within that, I think he came around 2011, but I could be off. If it's 2009, Cleon, then that's remarkable. That's remarkable. Lil Dallas says A-Rod to Dallas. That's not going to happen. There's too much stuff that you got to move around for that. To be honest with you, right? And let me say this. Top of my nose must be itching because I'm finna tell the truth. As good as you present A-Rod, right? Aaron Rodgers, we only lost one more game than them. They got a chance to play the Lions twice, and I think they lost to the Lions, right? So let me repeat. As good as people elevate Aaron Rodgers, we only lost one more game than them. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? And on top of that, as high and glowingly as you guys speak of all of those other teams, football is a difficult sport to win. Those games get compressed and it's hard, right? Yeah. Let's go and run and stop the run. Yep. Oh, and trust and behold, believe me, Cowboy Nation, the Ravens had Aaron Rodgers by the short hair, right? I think the Ravens' stupidity cost them that game, right? And one can argue that there were several other teams that had them by the short hairs, right? And we talked about our kicker. We talked about the kicker missing the kicks. This is a collective game. This is a collective team sport. But dog it, that kicker, we're going to bring up the other Jerry Jones to get this going. On top of that, Cowboy Nation, you guys remember, this is where they said that we will be. This is where they said we will be. Let me turn the audio up.
Yeah. But I can see you guys being 8-1. But you know what, Skip? Y'all not winning the division. Let me start with that first. You, Skip Bayless, your Dallas Cowboys will not win the division. The New York Football Giants are going to win the division. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go one step further. The Washington football team will finish second in the division. I'm going to take it a step further. You guys are going to finish third. Third in the division with a $107 million quarterback. It's hard to be 8-8, considering you got an odd game. Yeah. But I can see you guys being 8-1.
You know, that's what everybody have us at the start of the season. Literally, if you go around and you talk to everyone about the Dallas Cowboys before the season even kick off, not just Shay Sharp, not just him. You know, you can pull up the Bart Scotts of the world, the Dan Orlovskis, you know, the Emmanuel Ochos, you know. You can pull up the Stephen A. Smith and all of the pundits out there and anybody else that critique the Cowboys. 8-1, you know, or they go with the mindset of 8-8 before the 17th week or what have you. You know, so that is what I'm telling you guys. That is just only a few people. Like some, and I hate when people relegate me to YouTube because I'm quite sure that I'm on Facebook and Instagram as well, and Twitter and Twitch. So don't say, the YouTubers, because I'm beyond just YouTube, baby. You know, I'm on multiple platforms. I'm even on Amazon, Roku, and I'm also on Apple. Got a contract with Apple TV. So shout out to everybody. I'm everywhere, you know. So don't just relegate the nation to YouTube, baby. You know, but shout out to you, Kiderick. He says, what's up, Law? I'm a huge fan of your channel. Question, does Debo make you nervous? No way. Why would a wide receiver make me nervous? It should be flipped. Does Michael Parsons make Debo nervous? It should be flipped. Do Marcus Lawrence make Debo nervous? It should be flipped. Do Randy Gregory, dare I say, make Debo nervous? You know, hey, if he's Debo, then we got Craig, baby. And what happened to Debo at the end of Friday 1, you know? What happened to Debo? Y'all let me know. Oh, my goodness, man. May half of all of the actors on Friday, may they rest in peace, man. My goodness. You know, Debo meet Michael. Yeah, well, if Debo is Debo, then we got Craig over here. We have bricks, baby. Yeah. If you worried about the 49ers.
You must be out of your goddamn mind.
Come on, he got knocked out. You got knocked up. That boy said, what the boy said at the end? You know, he said, I don't kill. He gave him back the knife. You know, it was funny. Yo, what was his name, man? What was his name? I forgot his name. And he said, man, you know, and then he took it. Did he take his shoes? He took his shoes off of him. And then he gave him his knife and said, I don't kill. Dallas 34, San Fran 17. People fail to realize sometimes when you come off of a game, a brutal game, because that's what we're going to hear a lot. Easel. He said, Smokey, I ain't the smartest man in the world over here, but from here, it look like you taking a. Oh my goodness, man. And then when he run off and that cop was making that little pop sound, that joke would go get to running. Yeah, come on, man. Easel, yeah. Easel. Come on, baby. What's up? Want some of that too old, man? Too old. My bike, punk. Yeah, that Debo favorite saying right there. My bike, my bike. But you notice Debo, if you look at all of the people that he was bullying, they had no ground to fight on, right? They really couldn't defend themselves. You know, so I believe we fight back, baby. And it's going to be a physical game. It should be a physical game, right? But let's listen to my guy, Jerry Jones. Let's keep this show going. I know we got a lot of things to do today. And my system is broke. I don't know why it keep doing that on my chat log. But that's okay, Cowboy Nation. Let's listen to Jerry Jones.
Jerry, what do you see in this version of San Francisco? Give us a little scouting report on what these 49ers bring.
I think they're very physical and distinguishably so. They've got really stout defensive line. They're really good in their offensive line. They've seem to have some pretty good flexibility there, position flex. They've moved them around a tad. But more importantly than anything, they use it. They use it on both sides of the ball, the physical part of it. So this team is about that. They're very confident. They've won some big games. They've won it against some good teams. They play in a tough division over there. That the playoffs just demonstrate that completely. By the fact there are 3 out of the 4 teams in the division, and Seattle was no slouch. So they come tested. They come playoff ready. They'll be tough.
Jerry, our biggest concern.
So he said they'll be battle tested, come playoff ready. You know.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
If you have to work this Sunday, take off. If you have to be at anybody's job, take off. Tell them you got the new thing that's going on around here. You got to be off. You got to watch this game. You can't watch this on rewind. You got to watch this moment. This is history in the making, baby. Battle tested. You know, the Cowboys known for being finesse. Can the Cowboys get physical? Oh, yeah. There's not an offensive lineman on this planet that don't like run blocking and prefer to be in pass pro. This offensive line should come with the mindset and say, all right, cool. We get it, you know. We can match the physicality. We can match what you guys putting out there. We can bring forth the same type of mindset. We can do that too. We can run it. We can get it out to the edge. We can scoot. We can get in the way of the opposition and move them out of the way. We can do those things, Cowboy Nation. Physicality is what we bring to the table when we want to.
Concern seems to be kind of the storyline for the week is that physicality. Talk about that, how big of a concern it is for you and how you think you guys match up with your defense stopping their run game with the physicality and the creativity of Shanahan.
Oh, I have such respect for the coach Shanahan. I had respect for his dad. He's obviously comes with the pedigree of having grown up in it as well as having had success. And you've got to respect that. They've got a fine organization, and they've been to the Super Bowl since we have, obviously, and have competed here these last 2 or 3 years.
Let me do some housekeeping right quick. Hey, A-Rod, you know, to Dallas, little Dallas Cowboy, we get it. You say it one time and move on from it. You don't have to continue to say it. If not, the mods, man, are going to put you on timeout. Let's not repeat and let's not type in all caps, Cowboy Nation, I unless you are one of the mods. Look, let's stay focused. If not, then I'm going to move it on into subscribers. And I want you guys to stay here, but I don't want to move this, talking on my timeline is a privilege right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to say that I'm high and mighty, but come on, no spam, because this is syndicated. This goes through multiple networks, so I can't have a lot of cussing on the screen. So, and then just respect, just out of respect of the community guidelines, please don't put cuss words, all bold caps, and don't repeat yourself, and no spamming. If so, then I'm gonna have to move it to subscribers only. But I appreciate y'all. Y'all keep it clean. Let's stay focused, Cowboy Nation. Let's go.
At a higher level than we have, and so we've got to factor all that in. This is there'll be a real mess to deal with out here Sunday.
Jerry, did you? How were you taking in Sunday's games? Did you have a rooting interest in who you guys were going to face, or the road that you were going to have to take in the second round? Should you get there?
I spent that day on the NFL mix on the tube, and boy, I was watching them all at the same time and getting to them. And one of the most fun days that I've had watching NFL football in a long time. And I couldn't believe that our 17th week had come down to that type of competitiveness and that type of it was like a storybook as to all the things that depended on the outcomes of the game. Now, I know we were particularly involved, and every Cowboy fan and all of us were hanging on every nuance of every play, but still, it was quite a day. I spent the day in front of that TV set and really watching, and could easily do it, although a couple of them were at the same time, watching all the teams that we had a chance to play, not only in the first game, but should we advance. And it just goes to show you how important our games were on the 17th week, and how good it is to have that longer season.
Jerry, one of the kind of the issues that we've been talking about is one of the last times the Niners came here, they brought a lot of fans with them. There was a lot of red in that stadium. Is that a concern? Is there a way to keep visiting fans out of the stadium, on a playoff game? What is the concern level there?
Well, I have no control. I know that we have the highest priced resale ticket across the board throughout the stadium as we speak right today and yesterday. And so you're getting a huge run-up in the price of the tickets, which shows the kind of demand there is. And consequently, you don't control it. You don't want to control that. You want the market to be there, and it is there. And but when you have the stadium the size that we have, which is easily the highest attended stadium in the NFL, when you have a stadium the size of that, you're going to have opposing jerseys in there, opposing fans or opposing color, if you will, is the better way to say it. I welcome it. I think it's a great atmosphere. You'd have to really be missing the sensitivity that's around the Cowboys right now to think that you, in my mind, we're going to have any concern really over the coloring and the deal. It'll be Cowboys' home game. There's no question about it. Home playoff game.
Yeah, so Jerry is talking about, I think this was happening in 2014 in Texas Stadium. You see all of those sea of red there. They travel pretty well. My brother Ryan, he was on the show yesterday, and he was talking about, yes, his team will travel. And I said, make sure you get two-way tickets. Don't make it a one-way. You get in here, get your L, and then you head out, But neither here nor there, they do travel. 49ers fan. There's a plenty of 49ers fan in Dallas. Me living in Dallas for now, I think it was 3 years now I've been here in Dallas. And I've seen, even when you drive through communities, you'll see a flag that's in the ground, and you'll see a 49ers flag in the ground of them supporting their team that they love. And, of course, that goes with the territory. There's a lot of people moving from California to move to Texas because of Texas laws and everything, and a lot of people moving from other parts of the state to come to Texas, and especially Dallas. I think Dallas is one of the most growingest cities out there, if I can say that. Population is growing tremendously, and that's why the infrastructure is around Dallas area. It always building roads and things like that, but neither here nor there. If you are a Cowboy fan and you selling your tickets to the enemy.
Shame.
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 I finally made it to that episode, by the way. You know, it called that episode on Game of Thrones was Mother's Mercy, a Mercy Mother, a Mother's Mercy, I believe. And I finally got a chance to see that actual episode of the Queen being stripped of everything and have to go through the walk, you know, to showcase her sin. But if you Cowboys, you're going to have to strip of everything and you have to go through the walk.
Shame. Shame.
Come on.
Shame.
And it'll be roaring. When that bunch cranks up, and when you have 90-something thousand people, I was trying to look at it. You know, we have to limit what we can put on our standing room only out there. We have to limit that amount, but I'd like to push that 100,000 this week.
Come on, get that 100,000.
Jerry, how do you define success once you make the play? Is it title or bust for you?
Yeah, I mean, get this title.
Oh, unquestionably. There's no in between. You really go into it with the expectation of being in the playoff. The league is designed to be 50-50. And so it is important to everything is set up to be 50-50. It's that competitive.
Parity
and that's fair, the way it comes down, the way you can get players, talent acquisition. And so the denominator is to be break the proverbial 50-50 mentality and of your record, 8-5. In this case, it can't be 50-50 now. It's 8-7 or 8-8 in the tie. But the point is, to get here, you need to have distinguished yourself. And then once you get here, all bets are off. And a lot of that has got to do with availability of your players. At that time, we're in good shape. We're in real good shape right now. And so, we should be excited and be planning on it. And there's, you don't have but one winner here, and that's the Super Bowl winner.
No doubt. Hold this team accountable. Hold that mindset accountable. It's Super Bowl or bust. Now, pundits say that, and they laugh and they scoff at the Cowboys when we do make it to the playoff. Then they move it. You know, so the trend is Cowboys are terrible, right? They can't beat above 500 team. And then the next trend would be this before the start of the season. No, I did it in inverse. This is the trend. This is the trend. Here's the trend. This is what they say across the board, no matter who you talk to. And you can hear it being echoed from people who don't collectively think for themselves. They use other words, right, from what they heard. This is how it goes. The Cowboys will be 8-8. And since it's now 17 games, they'll be 8-8-1. All right? And then when we start winning, all right, let's push it back. The Cowboys can't beat a team above 500. And then when you do beat a team over 500, then they say, well, that team is only 500 because of the level of the competition that they play, right? So then they move it and say, well, the Cowboys can't beat, hear me out, can't beat a playoff caliber team. And then when they do that, then we get to the playoffs, it's moving the goalpost to the Cowboys going to be one and done. Show of hands of how many people in the chat section was typing one and done, one and done. All I see is one and done. There's no more. I don't see the same people with the energy of saying 8-8-1. You know, they went away from there and they move it and they pivot and they put, well, a team that's over 500. And that's the cycling, right? So now the Cowboys must win this game for the fate of the season, for the fate of the one and done. But look how many times they were wrong. It's not like they started off in September, you know, or during training camp saying the Cowboys going to be one and done. The Cowboys going to make it to the playoff. They didn't even give us the opportunity to make it to the playoff, nor the opportunity to beat teams that's above 500. But when I show the graph and I show everybody, of, hey, it's difficult. Even Aaron Rodgers, just like Lil Dallas kept on saying, Aaron Rodgers. He's 36-43 of teams above 500. So, so he's below 500. So the same narrative should be for him. But it's only for the Cowboys. And that is difficult because it's 32 teams in the National Football League and there's only one champion. Now, granted, the unicorn that continue to win, Tom Brady. Yeah, I think that everywhere he been, he won. like in his pro life, right? And of course, shout out to him. I'm not finna throw any shade or salt at him, right? But he's the unicorn. And I'm not finna say that he suck or what have you, he cheated. I think LaDainian Tomlinson said it best. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, basically, when he got knocked out of the playoff against the Patriots one year. So let's just stay focused, Cowboy Nation. The thing that I want to see, ultimately, I want us to win, but ultimately, I want us to compete this Sunday. I don't want us to lay down. I don't want us to have the footsteps so loud that it blank out what we do best, right? Let's go.
Jerry Jones right here on The Fan with Sean and RJ, brought to you by Ford. Speaking of being in good shape, Jerry, do you have anyone in the COVID protocols, and are you guys taking any extra precaution this week before the game?
Well, I really think our mentality, our practice of protocol has evolved. This last 2 or 3 weeks have been, as it has for the nation, have been really a heightened practice of awareness or addressing the COVID. There's no question that it's uptick. It's gotten more intense. We all see that every day in all of our lives. And so we have to be we have to be sensitive to that, which means, yes, we have to pay more attention. We have to watch it more. And our players are as highly aware of what it means to get to play in this game Sunday, or what it means to be available over these next few days and weeks, if you will. They're more aware than any time I've seen them. Staff is more aware than any time I've seen. They're talking to each other about it. Well, that's the best you can do. Keep your distance. Keep your mask up.
Right.
Get out there and watch your step. Remember the end game. End game is to be on the field Sunday. Now, don't be ridiculous. We don't want to do that at the expense of anybody's health, but we can do that. In the NFL, over the last 2 years, touching roughly 4,000 players, and no telling how many staff.
Right.
We have had one case with a player being in a hospital for 1 day. 1 day, one player in the last 2 years. And so that's where you are on how effective the NFL's protocols have been over the last 2 years. And our Dallas Cowboys have led the league in attendance significantly over the last 2 years as well. And so we have a very good situation with our fans, our stadium, how we do our protocol.
No doubt. I mean, there's a lot of tongue-in-cheek with this protocol thing and what's going on with this country and this world. I can't touch on it due to the, the powers that it be that would take a video down for misinformation upon which what they agree to what's misinformation or what have you. But I can come here to tell you guys that there is no cure to the common cold. There's absolutely no cure to the common cold, and people catch it. And I'm not saying that this is the common cold. Don't misquote me. So there are parameters to keep you from catching a cold and it being stricken down to you being not being able to move around with your everyday life. I encourage you guys to drink plenty of water, work out on a routine basis, and then on top of that, get plenty of good sunlight, which embodies good vitamin D. I encourage you guys to make sure you eat the right and proper foods to whatever to whatever extent that you believe was proper, and carry on with your life. I don't want you guys to be stricken with fear, for the Almighty didn't give us the spirit of fear. So anything can be accomplished through your mindset, but you got to make sure that you do not let the people put you in that mode of being in fear of everything. I recall many of years ago, now I had to say many of years ago, when you sneeze, people say, God bless you. Now, when you sneeze in the public, man, people looking at you saying, F you, man, F you, wear your mask. You know what I'm saying? They ready to throw hands. See how this world has changed? It used to be cute when you see a baby sneeze. Now, you're saying, throw that baby out, throw that baby away. People became so evil, collectively speaking, that this world is just crazy in that sense, whereas no one can come together and be together. And the assembly of people is the energy and where we should be at. But now people don't want to assemble together because they're in fear. They are absolutely in fear. And it's just crazy how how this thing goes from here. Let's go.
You guys have any current cases as of today on the roster?
Not that I'm aware of today. Now, I'll be very candid with you. I haven't gotten my COVID report this morning, but to the extent that we have an extension of Curse was on protocol list last week. He shouldn't be by Thursday of this week. Other than that, that we're counting on being available, no.
Jerry Jones.
That's without my report this morning.
Jerry Jones joined us here on 105 through the Fan. Jerry, because of the inconsistencies with the kicking game, Zerline.
Yeah, let's talk about this kicker, man.
The game plan at all? Like maybe you go for two a little bit more. Maybe you go for it on 4th and short instead of kicking the field goal. Has that altered the game plans at all?
Absolutely it does. And we're well aware, and we should be aware. That's part of running the show. And it really does, but Zerline really brings a lot to the table. His leg strength, his touchbacks, his ability to be a threat at a length, a distance, all of that is there. He has had a exceptionally tough year for him in extra points, but he's a sound kicker, experienced kicker, and our guys are all sensitive about how to approach the game.
Jerry, how risky would it be just to go and get someone, a Kai Forbath or anyone off the street, so that you don't have to, live with the uncertainty of the missed kicks? Weighing that option, what's it been like for y'all doing that?
Man, ain't no way, because it's playoff time now, and you don't know the pressure of that kicker who have not been kicking all season. All of a sudden, now he got the silver and blue on. You taking a roster spot off the team for him, and you roll him up out there. We don't know. We think once when kickers miss, they go on a missing vibe. This should have been settled. This should have been settled during the preseason, or after game 1, game 2. So that's why I think I posted it somewhere over here. All right, here we go. After concerns was downplayed in camp, Cowboys special teams coordinator John Fossil, Johnny Bones, acknowledged today, and it was yesterday basically, for the first time, the kicker Greg Zerline offseason back surgery, in abbreviated, ramped up a regular season has adversely affected his rhythm. His rhythm is thrown off. I think he's still trying to find it.
Shame. 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 Shame.
You still
shame
trying to find your rhythm? It's postseason time, baby. And the thing is, Cowboy Nation, not being negative on this, I'm just spitting what I believe to be his facts of it. It's too late. It's too late now. Ride the horse you rode in on. Love the one you with. Deal with the devil you know. Old folks be right, baby. You better deal with this devil you know, because you don't know what those other kickers will do. You don't know. Look, I think that even the person that's holding the ball, the person that's going out there holding the ball so that the kicker can kick the ball is very important. If you think I'm lying, let me know what happened in 2006. There's a guy that wears number 9 or wore number 9 for this team, right? Hands are sweaty. Just ran down there to push this thing all the way through or what have you. Hands still sweaty. The ball get there. Oh, I fumbled the ball. That person is important. Your special team got to be on the same page, baby. Let me know if I'm wrong. Let me know if I'm wrong, Cowboy Nation. Let me know. Let me know.
You can rest assured that was the first thing that you look at, and if a better alternative would be out there, we'd be using it. Everything's at stake.
Jerry, a lot of talk around your staff, with Black Monday yesterday, and Dan Quinn and Kellen Moore and Will McClay was thrown into the news yesterday. How are you dealing with all that, and when can you guys start talking to potential replacements if you think you're going to lose somebody on the staff?
Well, one of the things that you're ready for, as a matter of fact, the league is so structured and so friendly to advancing coaches in their careers that it is not, when you're successful, it's not necessarily in the best interest. It's like the draft. It's not in the best interest of the successful teams, the league's protocol of helping coaches progress. Now, you're sitting here to the ultimate person that believes in opportunity in America.
Right.
You can imagine where I've come from. And also, I don't know of anybody that has football be any better to it than I have.
Yeah.
That I'm talking about better to me than I have.
Right.
And so I'm a big believer in opportunity. If I'm anything, I'm an example of opportunity. And so, and taking advantage of it and advancing, if you will. And so that's where I am on it. But rest assured, when you're successful, it works to the teams that aren't successful's advantage. The rules in the NFL about the ability to move and advancement. On the other hand, when you're unsuccessful, it works to that team's advantage to be able to go out here and get and work to get other teams' coaches. That's just the way it works. The facts are, though, that you just have to have about coaching just as you do players, and that is there's got to be, there is available other people to take advantage of those opportunities. And that's the way it is in coaching. You just have to go get somebody else.
Appreciate you. The 49ers are trash. He says the 49ers starting linebackers have combined 2.5 sacks. It's just their style of defense. They pretty much flatten out in zone. They don't send their guys as much. Fred Warner's no one to sneeze at. He can cover the hook area, and once he figure out which way you're going, he explodes. And Fred Warner plays everywhere you would want LVE to play. If I can close my eyes and if I could just pick up Fred Warner and put him in spot of LVE, oh my goodness. Or if you look at Fred Warner, he is what we envisioned what Jalen Smith would have became if he had not hurt his leg. So I'm not finna shade them on their sack total, but I can tell you that 2.5 sacks, that's not hey, that's pretty good. That's good observation, though, but they're a different style of defense there. My thought track on what Jerry Jones just said, about the coaching opportunity, you have the ability to make the changes. You should have the ability to get things going in the right direction for your team as it relates to future coaching endeavors. Meaning that there's no salary cap to coaching. And also, we can talk about Black Monday, about all of these guys getting fired and now they're looking for replacement. It's foolishness to me. You guys may be a part of a different thought track, but I'm going to tell you guys this right here, that the NFL should wait until the day after the Super Bowl before they can make any announcement as it relates to who got fired and when they selecting people for interviews. Because look, if I have and I get it, some people going to hit me up and say, well, Law, they can get fired during the season, and blah, 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 blah. But when we talking about game, putting things in order to make sure that everybody's on the same page, if you take off 2 hours to concentrate on something else, there will be something else that you're missing out on the field. Now, granted, these guys can literally get off of work and say to themselves, all right, I'm focusing in on this interview process. But if you have not ever interviewed for a job that pays north of $80,000, $90,000, or six figures, or even $250,000, right at high of $250,000, or even right at $1 million, there are tons of questionings and line of conversational piece that you got to go through, that they're going to have to comb through, and this is life-changing. Life-changing income, legacy, and beyond. You can't sit here and tell me to a straight face that I'm finna get an interview opportunity for the Chicago Bears or for the Denver Broncos, and it just goes over my head like water, or it just falls on my back like water on a duck back. No. Because you got your wife, your kids, your school, you got all of that stuff put into place. You want to outperform the other person that you got to talk about as it relates to your interview processing. That's a lot of things to process. Plus, getting ready for the play against the 49ers or getting ready to play against the Buccaneers or whoever. There's a lot of stuff going into detail. For the NFL to just say, this is a great opportunity. Life-changing income for these guys. Let's allow tampering to go along right now. Well, if that's the case in the scenario, if you guys feel that way, then hear me out. So we should just take tampering off the table completely. Meaning that, hey, if I know for sure your star player, let's use an example, if Fred Warner is going to be a free agent, I should be able to say, even while the process is going on, call Fred and say, hey, man, we really like you to come over here to the Dallas Cowboys. Man, I got a game to prepare for. No, but we got money. I'm going to offer you $60 million, or 70 or 80, whatever it may be. It would throw off Fred's psyche. It don't make sense to rush it. And on the flip side, old folks say this, and I love old folks. Y'all write this down. Don't dance with the first lady you see. Sometimes the good ones don't come in until 11, 12 o'clock. You in there at 9:30, 10 o'clock in the club, you dancing with her, and now you stuck like Chuck. There may be a prettier woman coming in late with her whole crew. Huh? Jacksonville Jaguars, yes, just because they open up. Look, I didn't mean to go it that way, but I'm taking it that way. Just because they open up early, and you take that opportunity, and then Denver saying, hey, we open. Jacksonville, Denver, or Chicago. You got Justin Fields, you got some boys over there. You can't dance with the first lady you say. Take your time. Hey, I appreciate the opportunity to reach out to me for the interview. I would more than happy to entertain you. But for right now, my focus is on the playoff. And then my focus on from there, Super Bowl. You know how this thing go, baby.
Jerry, officiating has been a big storyline for some of y'all's games this year, and the crew announcement came out yesterday. I look forward to kind of hearing your recaps and your previews, Sam. We know what crew this is. We know what to expect. Have you gotten the report, and do you have a good feel for what this crew will be doing or what they've done throughout the season that you're getting Sunday?
The answer is no. The crew is probably available.
Right.
And but frankly, I didn't look at that yesterday as to the crew. Good question, very appropriate question for our team. Where the crew is, the crew was outstanding the other day. I don't know that we've had a game that had fewer penalties called, and so kudos to that. They certainly have the let them play attitude.
Yeah, I like that.
It's funny. I don't talk to anybody. Coaches, general managers, owners. I don't talk to anybody that doesn't want to let them play, except when they get in the nuances of what happened to them on their particular team. And then they want some adjustments made in the rules. So that's what you're into.
Jerry, last one. I want to finish off with the head coach who joins us every Friday. This is why you brought him in, right? Give us your view on the playoff experience that Mike McCarthy can help y'all out with and what he brings to your sidelines in the playoffs.
Well, the fact we're in the playoffs is why we went to get him, and he's just done an outstanding job. And he's, of course, has evolved since he got here 1 year ago. There's never been a transition time for head coaches that was any tougher than last year in terms of moving into the team you're with.
Right.
Mike told me last year that we had the best talent of any team that he'd ever been around. Last year. Best talent of any team he'd ever been around. So that as we have evolved, I think we're a better, more talented team than we were this time last year. I do. And so the good news is that we've been able to play it, and it's been on the field. The whole talent picture has been out on that field. I give him all the credit for that. He deserves the credit for having really the experience that we've got on that field as we come into the playoffs. He's been very astute. Relative to how he's worked with and evolved with Kellen Moore. One of the first things he said when he got
Listen up, Cowboy Nation.
I want to have Kellen here. I want him to be here. Mike's an offensive coach, but he wanted Kellen here. And he was at the head of the list of the world in trying to get Dan Quinn in here when this came up last year. So the bottom line is that he's doing an outstanding job. He will be the first to tell you, don't give me any accolade. Do not give me one thing until we have won playoff games, until we have won the big game. And I would agree with him there. We have the greatest fans in the world. We have the greatest opportunity here. And I believe we all would agree that our quarterback is second to very few, if they're second to any in the NFL. You need a good quarterback to really think big or think you've got a chance in the playoffs. You need a good quarterback. You need a good defense. You need a good basic depth to play in these next 3 ball games, and 4 possibly.
Oh, my God. Yes, Jerry Jones. Shout out to 105.3 The Fan. That was the end of that one. And I want to send this link to you guys so that you can hit that link and watch the entirety of that interview there without me pausing and rewinding with my thoughts. So give them a shout out to 105.3 The Fan when you listen to their audio. Shout out to Sean and RJ for going over the questionings there with Jerry Jones. Those convinced against their will is of the same opinion, right? We're not here to change your mind of this team. We're not here to persuade you and try to make you feel, less than who you are, of what you root for. But 9 times out of 10, if a person like ice cream, he'll go to the store and purchase ice cream, right? But if a person love, and I mean just that hay or horse droppings and things like that, then they'll go and get that. Hold tight for me right quick. Y'all bear with me right quick. Hello?
Ryan?
Yeah, I'm live right now. What's going on?
I'm sorry.
Hold on. Let me put it on me right quick. Hold on.
They've got a really stout defensive line. They're really good in their offensive line. They've got seem to have some pretty good flexibility there, position flex. They've moved them around a tad, but more importantly than anything, they use it. They use it on both sides of the ball, the physical part of it. So this team is about that. They're very confident. They've won some big games. They've won it against some good teams. They play in a tough division over there that the playoffs just demonstrate that completely by the fact there are 3 out of the 4 teams in the division, and Seattle was no slouch. So they come tested. They come playoff ready. They'll be tough.
Jerry, our biggest concern seems to be kind of the storyline for the week is that physicality. Talk about that, how big of a concern it is for you, and how you think you guys match up with your defense stopping their run game with the physicality and the creativity of Shanahan.
Oh, I have such respect for the coach Shanahan. I had respect for his dad. He's obviously comes with the pedigree of having grown up in it as well as having had success, and you've got to respect that. They've got a fine organization, and they've been to the Super Bowl since we have, obviously, and have competed here these last 2 or 3 years at a higher level than we have, and so we've got to factor all that in. This is there'll be a real mess to deal with out here Sunday.
Jerry, did you? How were you taking in Sunday's games? Did you have a rooting interest in who you guys were going to face, or the road that you were going to have to take in the second round? Should you get there?
I spent that day on the NFL mix on the tube, and boy, I was watching them all at the same time and getting to them. And one of the most fun days that I've had watching NFL football in a long time. And I couldn't believe that our 17th week had come down to that type of competitiveness and that type of it was like a storybook as to all the things that depended on the outcomes of the game. Now, I know we were particularly involved, and every Cowboy fan and all of us were hanging on every nuance of every play, but still, it was quite a day. I spent the day in front of that TV set and really watching and could easily do it, although a couple of them were at the same time watching all the teams that we had a chance to play, not only
What's up, everybody? Appreciate y'all for jumping in. I had some breaking news. That's what was happening. Shout out to Nushawn Wright. That was his mom that was giving me a call there. Some good news to him, and these sorts of things. So, and I just wanted to tell you guys, Nushawn is a wonderful player, man, and his mom is a beautiful lady, and they are she's about to be a grandmother there. So shout out to the Wrights family, and she wanted to let me know personally and everybody know that that this is about to be a good situation for her. For those who don't know, it is what it is, Cowboy Nation. She is a die-hard, believe it or not, 49ers fan, and her son got drafted to play for the Cowboys, and it crushed her. The house divided situation, and right now she was just calling to let me know that's what's going on. So congratulations to him, Nushawn Wright, and it's always a beautiful situation to be in. To actually to have a child there, and this is always good. Cowboy Nation, I really appreciate everybody for tuning in, and Cowboy Nation, it's always good to know that this team actually reaches out to me and care, and that's always good too, Cowboy Nation, and I love it. Tonight we got the final word, and we will see if we can get her on the phone for a couple of minutes there to spit her mind about the family. And that's what we do. That's what we do, Cowboy Nation. We try to make this thing a family. At the end of the day, whether you're an Eagles fan or a Giants fan or a Washington football fan or a Dallas Cowboy fan, this is just a game, right? Just a game. So Cowboy Nation is always wonderful to be able to tap in and gain, insights to people, life, and what they believe in and things like that. So neither here nor there. I had to pivot. I didn't want to go live on the phone with her there, and she's telling everything, out and openly. But we're gonna do for Nushawn is we're gonna do some type of care package, right? Cause he gonna have many of days up, boy, rocking my baby. He gonna have many of days of worrying about whether or not his baby fall, scrape her knee or his or her knee. Ain't gonna do the gender reveal. Don't let them do all of that. And it's just one of those things. You never stop worrying as a parent, right? You never stop worrying. You can be 55, or she or he can be 55 or 80. You never stop worrying as a parent. As a father, you never stop worrying. Let's go, Jay Worthy. I know you going through it right now. That's why I let my boy, what's his name, Louis T. I let him make it, man. He said he got a set of twins. Ooh, got a set of twins the other day. The other day we was live. He said, man, they just came out of the womb. But we going to still do this show. And, I was like, come on. And my brother Ryan, if he's still watching, that dude got 2 sets of twins. I said, Ryan, boy, you too accurate, boy. 2 sets of twins. I said, stop. You don't do it again now. But it is what it is, Cowboy Nation. Let me see. It's 1 o'clock. Let me check the news line and see if anything else didn't happen, and I can get up out of here myself. Or do you guys want me to keep going? Let me know. Check out my guy John Machota. He haven't moved on. Practice start. The first day of practice start tomorrow. They still going through walkthrough setups right now, right? And let's see. That's the Michael Irvin bit, right? And let's see if I can pull up. Let me see who we want to pull up right here. Yeah, he's pretty sharp here. Let's see if there's any news out there. Appreciate y'all for jumping in. Jerry Jones, so we just discussed that. Kyle Shanahan on DQ, one of the best coaches I've been around, for one of the best people I've been around. I got much respect. You know, that's the conversation that you should always have, right? You shouldn't talk bad about anyone right now when you've got to face each other. Keep going. Yeah, Nick, she said Louis T was super salty after that beatdown. Talk big. Yeah, he was super salty. He was super salty. You know, Peter says he wants 17 carries for Zeke. In my previous video, I mentioned that I really want 14 to maybe 16 carries for Tony Pollard. And, you know, Tony Pollard, if he's, you know, let me see, if we can get that amount of carries for him, he gonna do his thing. He's gonna do his thing. And if you think about it, Cowboy Nation, just hear me out. If Tony Pollard is averaging 5 yards per rush, right? And if he's just doing that, and he get, let's say if he get, if it's just 80 carries, if it's just 18 carries, of course there's 80 yards. So if he's averaging 5.5 yards per rush, even if you give that man, let's say 19 carries, you got you 100 yards, you got you north of 100 yards, what have you, and he'll be that guy that you can lean on. So I look at it like this. Both of those boys on the edge, because I think he can break one, especially if you catch the 49ers trying to do any type of low box situation, because that's what we really want. We want them to load the box. That's the game right there. You load the box, right? You want them to load the box, and then Dak Prescott can eat on the outside. Now, when they play the cover 4 or quarters, or they give you the 2 high, then that's when you're supposed to run it. So I believe that the Cowboys saw what teams were trying to do. They sandbag enough, put some bad tape out there, and they said, okay, this is how you affect the Cowboys. Dak Prescott, fight through this as much as possible. Get through this as much as possible. Yeah, so it could be quite possible that you would see Tony Pollard, if the 49ers were sleeping behind the wheel, you can quite frankly see that Tony Pollard would get north of 100 yards if they try to play us that way. 300 passing yards, 120 is from Jonah Hill. Yep, that'll flat out work as well. All right, so let's see what we got here. Appreciate everybody for jumping in. Thank you all for following this channel. Thank those who subscribe. Let's get right to it from here. Bear with me while I build a plane while it's in the air. I really appreciate you guys. Let me see if we can find some of this conversational piece that they was talking about.
Align. And unfortunately for the Cowboys, the stars that are aligning aren't great ones. The Niners pose a huge threat to any and everybody, and this has nothing to do with Dallas, my like for them, or disdain for them. December 22nd, I went out on a limb, and I said these words. If y'all remember, December 22nd. Let's roll it.
Let's do it. Oh, you're cute. Look at that.
San Francisco 49ers will win their first playoff game.
Okay.
Point blank, period. I don't care where they wind up, who they play against, how they play there. They will win their first playoff game. I have more confidence in this Niners team than every other NFC team, and I know the Packers are going to get a bye. So, December 22nd, I said the San Francisco 49ers will win their first playoff game. I don't care who they play against. I don't care where they play. The San Francisco 49ers do something that no other NFC team does, and that is play incredibly physically. Every NFC team, whether it be the Packers, a little bit of finesse. Y'all know what Aaron Rodgers does so wonderfully. The Buccaneers, a lot of bit of finesse. Tom Brady lead the league in passing yards. The Arizona Cardinals, ain't nothing but finesse. The Los Angeles Rams, finesse. But the Niners, smack you in the mouth. They say, I don't care to be pretty. We going to be gritty. We going to be grungy. We just going to sit there and punch you in the face. Now, my Philadelphia Eagles, they set a franchise record in rushing yards. Some people say they are grimy as well. There's a difference in running attacks, America. There's a quarterback run game, which is still efficient as it pertains to acquiring yards. Then there's just a true traditional run game, which is this ain't going to be outsmarting you, tricking you. We're going to line up and punch you in the face. That's what the Niners do.
All right, so I'm going to let all of that sizzle down and rest in your mind right quick. All right. While I'm looking for some music to play in the background, you guys let me know if that's the case in the scenario. Why? Why the 49ers are not undefeated? How did they lose games? Because listening to what he said, right? Let me see if I can find I think this is the 2021 schedule. That's preseason. All right, 41 to 33. Is that preseason? I don't know their schedule. Let me see. The Eagles 17 to 11, September the 19th. So they started off 2-0, right? Then they played the Packers. The final was 30 to 28. They played the Seattle Seahawks. Final was 28 to 21. They played the Cardinals 10 to 17. They was handed an L 30 to 18. The Bears 33 to 22. Cards beat them 31-17. They beat the hell out of the Rams. I think they got the Rams numbered. I think they like 6-0 or 7-0 against the Rams. And it's 31 to 10. They beat the Jaguars 30 to 10. The Vikings 34 to 26. The Sea Chickens again won 30 to 23. They went to overtime, beat the Bengals 26 to 23. Everybody beat up on the Falcons, right? All right, so then they played the Titans. The Titans beat them. They played against the Texans. Texans lost. Then they played the Rams 27 to 24. They 6-0. So why are the 49ers? Why are the 49ers not undefeated? Because I'm looking at their schedule. There's nobody on that schedule. If we're going to keep it 100. Who did you guys say to yourself, all right, man, I'm worried. If the Cowboys, if you were to pick the Cowboys up and put them on this schedule, maybe, just maybe, the Green Bay, and you would look at the Cardinals, right? But you got the Rams twice. They've been dominating against the Rams. They know Rams. You got Jaguars, I see Vikings on there. I see the Eagles on there. You know, that Seattle Seahawks played them rough. I mean, come on, man. Their hardest schedule is probably, I'm looking at probably within the confines of their division, basically. But I don't really see anything that really stood out to me as a difficult opponent. I'm going to read your comments. You know, I don't know. If we got a chance to play the Jaguars this year, it would have been 80-3. No offense to you, B-New. Yeah. I mean, you physicality against 7 losses. How many losses? DB's trash. They got swept by Seattle, a gimpy Seattle at that. You know, like, come on, baby. They barely got in off of that fluff. And we supposed to be worried about the Niners. Look, Ted says low-key they played the worst scheduling. Let's look at it again. Like let's be real. Now I know somebody can say, well, the Bengals, man, ho. And I think they scraped by on that Bengals game. The 49ers should have only lost, I believe. They should have only lost 4 games. They should have been like, right up there with the Green Bay, if that's the case in a scenario. Right? Look at his schedule, man. Lions put up 33 of them. Well, Lions, was that the first game of the season? Or was this the first game of the season? Come on. I don't really see anything outside of divisional opponents that they should have been worried about, I guess.
It's a huge threat to the Cowboys sell because the Cowboys do not do much of anything bad at all.
Okay, there you go.
As a team, the Cowboys don't do much of anything bad. But the Cowboys do one thing mediocre. Stopping the run. You might say, well, Acho, the Cowboys are 16th in stopping the run. That's middle of the pack. Look closer, America. 23rd in yards per attempt. So while the Cowboys are middle of the pack in overall yardage allowed, they're 23rd in how many yards do we give up per rush? The Niners are 29th in passing attempts, meaning the Niners ain't even going to try to pass the ball.
Right.
The Niners are 5th in rushing attempts, meaning all the Niners want to do is run the ball. Cowboys, the only thing you do bad is stop the run. Niners, the only thing we want to do is run the ball. Niners, 5th in rushing touchdowns. Niners, 7th in rushing yards. Cowboys, 16th in rushing yards allowed. Cowboys, 23rd in yards per attempt. It's a bad combination, big dog. Niners are a hungry, tough, gritty football team. And the Cowboys are a great football team, but they a pretty football team. Pretty and gritty don't always mix.
No.
So, let me get this straight. Before the Broncos game, the Cowboys were averaging north of 130 yards, right? Was that pretty and gritty? You know what I'm saying? Look, if you think it's pretty and gritty, go tell Terrence Steele that. Go tell Zach Martin when they do run the ball. The Cowboys' attempt to run the ball is the only thing that you can have leverage on. But when they do decide to run the ball, when they did put the ball in the belly of the running backs, collectively speaking, I believe when it's north of 25 attempts per guys, the Cowboys are undefeated when they decide to run the ball. This, by the way, Cowboy Nation, is a team that's designed supposed to design to run the rock. But something changed in the last 3 years, and I get it. But the offensive line is still the same, basically. The dynamics of Kellen Moore's system, which is a derivative of Scott Linehan, as well as you can say Jason Garrett. I made this statement before. If Jason Garrett and Scott Linehan were to copulate or were to have a child, it would produce Kellen Moore. Appreciate those. I think I missed a super chat, but let me see. Shout out to you, Jay Farm. Thank you for the super chat. Please wear your white if you're attending the game Sunday. Yeah, appreciate that, Jay Worthy. Dan Quinn will unleash the lion. Yeah. Jameson Taylor said he's unable to buy a super chat. Jameson, I don't know how that worked, but the Cash App link is down below. It's strolling at the bottom of the screen, as well as PayPal. You can contribute that way. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. Let's go.
Strong take. That's how we come back together. And I'm glad you went and actually went into the archives for December 22nd, because that feels like the last time I seen December 22nd. And it's been a long time since I've been around the Acho-ism.
Appreciate the donation.
My English teacher just smacked me upside the head. She said, I don't know if incredibly physically is the way you should say it, but baby, you know how to say it, Acho.
All right. We got one of my people that shoot me some good stuff. Replying to Law Nation Sports, we are 29-0 when we run the ball more than we pass. Bingo. So we got 4 games, baby. Just run the ball. Run it, Kellen Moore. Run it, baby. Hey, look at those stats. Use the analytics, baby. Run the ball. Running the ball, there's nothing wrong with it because it will set up everything on the outside, Cowboy Nation. Let's go. Let's get this thing going. Shout out to you, Christopher Thomas, man. Appreciate you. 49ers lost to the Seattle Seahawks twice. And the Cards twice. Shan is not mastermind. You know, he's not a mastermind. Yeah, I get it, though. You know, divisional foes, what have you. You know, it's always a rough and rugged game. I think that those games, let me see. Let me just take a look at these games. 31-17, it is blowout. So, yeah, that'd take away my argument on that point. And whenever they play the Cards again, let me see. Okay, 17-10, okay. So both of those games, by me not watching the games, I can't put it within context. But I can tell you divisional games supposed to be tied and tight. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna leave them out in the hook that way. But I'm gonna tell you, their most difficult part of their schedule was within the confines of their own division. Give me that any day. Outside of their division, I'm looking around. I'm sitting there saying, you haven't really played nobody but the Packers. I don't see the Bengals, yeah, the Vikings, everybody ran through them this year. That's why they fired their head coach. The 49ers played the Texans. Come on, man. Outside of their division, they was the hardest team. You know, so I don't really see the Titans, what have you, and they handed them an L.
Good to see my dog again. I'm with you, though. Woo, Cowboy fans. You know I'm one. It's going to be hard for me to cover up the jersey that I want to wear, the jersey I once wore as a Dallas Cowboy, and say that these 49ers aren't a threat, but they're a big threat. I say they're a big threat because of some of the reasons you say. The running game.
Okay.
The resolve. And how they respond in that resolve that we saw last week, 17 points down, and more importantly, how they've done it all year long in terms of starting off the year under a firestorm, if you want to call it, quarterback controversy, direction of this team, leadership of this team, where are they going to go? Not committed to Jimmy G, but still reluctant in that commitment, and then had to go with Jimmy G, and Jimmy G somehow, some way, is always the magic wand, the magic straw that stirs this thing masterfully for this team. But this is a team that's up and down. Let's not act like this team is going to just show up and show out. There's something about this team that they have to muck it up for them to respond to their own mess that they created. Now, here's the conversation. Are the Dallas Cowboys going to mess this up? Are the Dallas Cowboys going to give them that deficit, that back against the wall? Whatever it is, the mantra of these 49ers this year that makes them respond like they do. I don't see it this year. I understand that the Dallas Cowboys, 3-4 against playoff teams. All right.
Right.
Juxtapose that to a 4-4 team when you talk about the 49ers. So basically, they both were evenly matched against a good team. So you go into the playoffs and you go beyond the stats. Number one team, Dallas Cowboys in offense. Look at the 49ers. Only 2 other teams are like the 49ers, and this is interesting.
Right.
Top 10 in offense and defense. That would be the Packers, that would be the Buffalo. Everyone is loving and glowing over the Packers. Everyone's looking at Buffalo with suspicion. How come we're not looking at the 49ers with the same suspicion? Just because of how they respond. So I look at this situation like if I'm a Dallas Cowboy, I know that all we have to do is go out there and play our game, and the 49ers, based on their resume this year,
update their resume.
To that. If we don't play our game, if we give them some mistakes, if we let them into this game, then obviously they're a huge threat.
I like that.
Update your resume, baby. It's home game. Let's refocus. Let's get it going. I want you to lean forward a little bit. Right there. Yeah, right there. Little Dallas, you know, you thought you can come. I bet you can't post it again. Yeah, he had to lean forward. He tried to type in, hey, bam! He got hit out. Somebody called the paramedics. Little Dallas is dead Dallas now. When you come back and recreate your new YouTube name, just type it in as Dead Dallas. I tried my best. You know what I'm saying? And he ran up into a buzzsaw. May he rest in peace.
Let me take it a step further. They always say in relationships, people change, right? Particularly in marital relationships. The person you start out with is not necessarily the person you will end up with. They change, they evolve. So don't care so much about who you initially got engaged or proposed to. It's who are you married to now? In the same manner, I don't really care who the 49ers started out as or who the Cowboys started out as. Who are you now? Yeah. Now, while we can look at the last game or the last 4 weeks, we can look at since week 8. 49ers have the best record in the NFC at 8-3. 49ers have a couple wins over the Los Angeles Rams. 49ers have a win over the third-ranked AFC Bengals. 49ers, who are they now? Not who did they start off as. They are a really good team. In fact, they're a better team than the Dallas Cowboys, and they're as good a team as anybody else in the NFC based on record since the halfway point of the regular season. So let's make sure we make everybody aware that these Niners are just as good as anybody else. Don't look at their 10-7 record and be deceived. What the Niners couldn't do great, though, is come from behind. And like Jimmy G, he's not a prolific passer. He's a good passer. He's a great leader, but they can't come from behind. Or can they? Yesterday, down 17-0 against one of the most prolific offenses in football, the Los Angeles Rams. Come back from down 17-0 to not only take that game into overtime, but win that game in overtime. So now the one thing we thought.
So what he trying to quantify, you know, is that the Cowboys and the Rams speak from the same, or I guess have the same body of work. I don't recall any game that I ever witnessed Dak Prescott losing while he had the lead. I don't recall any time or a situation where this particular team folded when we have the lead. I don't recall that if this particular team, hear me out, Cowboy Nation, if we on a roll, it's just what it is. You might as well pull it out the cottonelle because we were made for this. You know what I'm saying? So I believe that this team, we went on multiple situations, 6-game winning spree, 4-game winning spree, in a slump, even though people will look at it and say, well, excuse me, they're not highlighting the positive aspect of it because there's no other team that put up 530 points this year. There's no other team that put up more points. And excuse me, the name of the game is scoring points. Hey, get more points than the opposition. You can have a world defense, but if you can't put money on the board, you ain't gonna win. Oh, news flash for those who ridiculed and absolutely sullied the victory over the Saints. We put up that amount of points even when we was in a slump. We absolutely got a chance to see that same Saints team beat the Buccaneers, right? So let's not forget about how they like to continue to move the goalposts. And I said that previously. So we should be in no fear. We got this thing going the best way possible, Cowboy Nation. And speaking of that, I absolutely got a roll. But I thank you guys for tuning in for this episode. I really do appreciate you guys for being part of this. A little later on today, we will be doing the final word. Let's go. Let's continue to grind, to shine, Cowboy Nation. There will be some more and more news and content out for the day, but I got to grind in and give you guys some of this all-22 film to go back to what I was saying about this rush defense and also to spotlight my guy, Cedric Wilson. He was on the 104 radio station with my girl Dee in the morning. We should have some audio of that, but Cowboy Nation, let's go. Y'all be prepared for the next live stream, the final word, and be sure to hit that notification bell, subscribe to the channel, Let's continue to grow. Once again, shout out to Nashawn Wright. Shout out to his mom. Shout out to everybody that's over there. Congratulations to him and his entire family. It's good knowing that we grow in the nation, baby. Let's go. And don't sleep on CD Lamb. Don't sleep on CD Lamb, Cowboy Nation. Shout out to y'all that's tuned in. Lamb is about to get it on this weekend. Oh my goodness, I could just only close my eyes and imagine. Y'all remember last game, he picked up that onside kick that they tried to do and ran it all the way in. Even Anthony Brown, of course, is a different quarterback. Even Anthony Brown had him a INT. You know, I think he picked up a fumble as well. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. Thank those who watched. Be sure to hit that like button and share this content. Tell me not and mourn for numbers. Life is but an empty dream, for a soul is dead that slumbers, and things are not what they seem. Life is real and life is earnest, and the grave is not his goal. Dust they are, to dust returneth was not even spoken of the soul. And his broad fields of battle and Vivion's life. Be not like a dumb driven cattle, but be a hero in the strife. Lives of great men all remind us, oh yes, that we ourselves can be heroes in the moment and leave behind us legacies and footprints on the sands of time. Cowboy Nation, that's for your mind. Speaking of this, for all the haters, let me write this one down. Understand and know that one. No amount of evidence will ever persuade an idiot. That's from Mark Twain. We got a lot of idiots out here. A lot of people that don't understand out here. But let that be on the ramifications of your heart. Let me say again, no amount of evidence will ever pursue an idiot. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Go Cowboys. We up out of here, baby. We up out of here. Oh, you think I can go back to this right here? Come on. Yeah. Come on. They say, Lord, do you keep the same energy? Oh, yes, I do. We were saying this before the start of the season, baby. We're saying it now. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. We up out of here, baby. Fight, a prize fighter, even when he's down. He continue to swing. He continue to find ways. Go.
FBI, open up!
Let's see Nate Robinson. This is Sparta, baby. This one time for your mind.
This is Sparta! Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Let's go, baby. It's one time, baby.
He needs some milk!
Mike Adams, let's go. Yo, it's gonna be Pollard in Lamb time. And don't forget about my brother. Said it. Let's go.
Fatality.
This is